Well, first of all, anytime you have two bodies deceased at the same place at the same time, that in and of itself is suspicious. It makes me wonder if she took something in those pills, and it was something that caused immediate for her as well. A horrifying situation. The tragic and mysterious deaths of Oscar-winning actor Gene Hackman and his wife have left many questions unanswered, casting a dark cloud of suspicion over their untimely demise. A cloud of suspicion surrounds the deaths of Oscar-winning actor Gene Hackman and his wife, whose bodies were found in their Santa Fe home. No one had seen the couple for days, and authorities say they had been for some time. The sheriff now says they are not ruling out foul play. Jim Ray, with the 911 call that alerted police to the mystery, surrounds the shocking death of actor Gene Hackman and his wife. The 95-year-old legend and his wife Betsy were found in their sprawling estate in Santa Fe. Initially, authorities suspected no foul play, with speculation circulating that the couple could have died from carbon monoxide poisoning. Initial reports said no foul play was suspected, and there was speculation that they were by carbon monoxide poisoning. But now, in a jaw-dropping turn of events, their deaths are being called suspicious enough in nature to require a thorough search and investigation. According to this search warrant, 2 maintenance workers reported finding their bodies. The discovery of their bodies raised further concerns when workers found Santa Fe home open and Hackman's body was found near the kitchen. The workers discovered the front door of the residence open. Hackman's body was found near the kitchen area. A deputy stated he suspected the male individual had suddenly fallen. His wife, Betsy Arakawa, was found on the bathroom floor. A prescription bottle appeared open with pills scattered on the countertop. In no way is it adding up to me, and this is why I've handled thousands of investigations over the course of my career, and it is such a rarity, an anomaly to have 2 people fall over at one time without some major causal effect. Adding to the mystery, the couple's beloved German Shepherd was found dead, while 2 other dogs were discovered roaming freely on the property. Gene and his wife were dog lovers. Their German Shepherd was also discovered, but 2 other dogs were found roaming the property. I find it interesting that the canine is found allegedly in a closet. Right now, the information that's coming out is so murky. Gene and his wife's bodies showed signs of decomposition and mummification. This is an investigation, so we're keeping everything on the table. I think the autopsy is going to tell us a lot. The 2-time Oscar winner was known for iconic roles in more than 80 films, including The French Connection. Lex Luthor. He also played Lex Luthor in the original Superman movies. Later generations came to know him as the vivacious patriarch in the Royal Tenenbaums. This was his last appearance at an award show in 2003 at the Golden Globes when he received a Lifetime Achievement Award. Top of the world, Ma. Top of the world. He was an extraordinary actor. He was somebody who was good at drama, who was believable in action films, and he could also do comedy. He was really funny and dead shorty, so his range was really vast, which is kind of impressive because he just looked like an everyman. Hackman retired from acting in 2009, citing health issues. Last year, he was spotted walking, looking frail, in a rare public outing with his wife outside a restaurant in New Mexico, walking with a cane and clutching her arm for support. Today, as Oscar preps are underway for Sunday's show, Hollywood is in mourning for the star's death. Gwyneth Paltrow posted this photo with Hackman from the Royal Tenenbaums with a heartbroken emoji. After the bodies were discovered, the New Mexico Gas Company tested all the lines in and around the home and did not find any problems. On February 26, 2025, at around 1:45 p.m., deputies were dispatched to the scene where Gene Hackman and his wife were found deceased, prompting an ongoing investigation. On Wednesday, February 26, 2025, at approximately 1:45 p.m., Santa Fe County Sheriff's deputies were dispatched to 1425 Old Sunset Trail, where Gene Hackman, 95, and his wife, Betsy Arakawa, 65, and a dog were found deceased. An individual arrived to perform maintenance on the residence, became concerned after receiving no answer, and contacted neighborhood security to conduct a welfare check. Security then checked on the residence and observed Mr. Hackman and Ms. Arakawa on the ground, unresponsive, through a window, and called 911. Deputies arrived and gained access to the residence where they observed Mrs. Arakawa deceased. They continued the search of their home and located Mr. Hackman in a separate area of the residence, also deceased. A German Shepherd was also found deceased, and 2 other dogs, who appeared healthy, were located on the property. Deputies then secured the scene and notified the Criminal Investigations Division. Due to the unusual circumstances of 2 decedents in the residence, there was a concern for scene safety. Santa Fe City Fire personnel and the New Mexico Gas Company were requested to the scene to test for carbon monoxide or other foreign elements. The scene was deemed safe, and approximately 9:30 p.m. a search warrant was issued and executed on the residence. Now, collected from the residence from this search warrant, there were 2 green and color cell phones, 2 bottles of medication, 1 bottle of over-the-counter Tylenol, my request medical records, and a 20 to 25 monthly planner calendar. Those items were secured from the residence for evidentiary purposes. Santa Fe County's Animal Control Division has worked closely with the family to ensure the safety of the surviving dogs. As investigators continue to process the scene for any potential evidence, the Santa Fe Animal Control Division worked with family to ensure the safety of the 2 surviving dogs. Investigation personnel worked diligently throughout the night and morning to process the scene for evidence. It should be noted there were no apparent signs of foul play. In the early hours of Thursday, February 27, 2025, Mr. Hackman and Ms. Arakawa were transported to the office of the medical investigator. An autopsy was performed. Initial findings noted no external trauma to either individual. The manner and cause of death has not been determined. The official results of the autopsy and toxicology reports are pending. Just today, I spoke to Dr. Jarrell, the pathologist from the New Mexico office of the medical investigator. This was at 2:00 p.m. today. She advised that there were several tests that were submitted to be expedited. She revealed to me the following information. Both individuals tested negative for carbon monoxide. An initial interrogation was conducted of Mr. Hackman's pacemaker. This revealed that his last event was recorded on February 17, 2025. I was advised that a more thorough investigation will be completed. Based on what you know about the conditions of both the bodies, who do you believe to be first? That's a very hard thing to determine. Even with the assistance of OMI, we ask that question because that's a question that we want answered. That's a very hard determination to make, and I don't think even OMI could make that determination based on the initial autopsy. Authorities are focusing on analyzing the couple's cell phone data, including phone calls, text messages, and photos, in an attempt to construct a timeline of events leading up to their deaths. Were there events scheduled for either member of the couple for the coming weeks? Again, that'll be part of our investigation. We will look and try to gain access to the cell phones. We'll be analyzing cell phone data, phone calls, text messages, events, photos in the cell phone to try to piece a timeline together. One of the things in an investigation is we try to piece a timeline together, usually before the event happens, and that gives us a lot of information. But in this case, it seems like we're doing a reverse timeline. We're doing a timeline from the time of, we're going to start working our way backwards. We're going to do both, and then hopefully make a determination what may have happened to both the individuals. The finding of the pills being such important evidence. And could that have been part of the cause? Well, of course, they're important evidence. These are things that I think are important for the pathologists and OMI to consider, to try to make a determination what the cause and manner are. All that information is collected, not just for us, but we can provide that information to the pathologists and OMI so they can try and make a determination of what the manner and cause is. I think that's important for OMI also. Sheriff, was there any surveillance video? Is that helping you to determine what may have led up to this? That's a good question, and that question's been asked. You know, I respect Mr. Hackman's and Ms. Arakawa's regard for privacy. I think everybody here understands that they were very private individuals and a very private family. There is no surveillance, as we know of right now, in the interior of the residence or the exterior of the residence that is going to help us determine a timeline or events that happened. Now that we've ruled out carbon monoxide, unless there's something else that comes back in the toxicology report, that we have to look, we're going to look at everything, right? We have photographs. We've documented everything that was close to the body in the room. Then we'll look at that a little closer. But right now, there's no indication that has anything to do with it. While no signs of trauma were observed on the bodies, investigators remain cautious, as pathologists will likely uncover more if there are any hidden injuries from a fall or other mishap. No, I don't think there was any indication that... Again, there was no trauma indicated on the body. I'm assuming if they would have fell or injured themselves or a head injury or brain injury, that would have been discovered by the pathologist. So I'm going to say that they weren't. Of legendary actor Gene Hackman and his wife, Betsy Arakawa, a couple along with their dog found in their New Mexico home this week by a maintenance worker. Listen, this is part of the 911 call. Are they awake? I have no idea. Are they breathing? I have no idea. I'm not inside the house. It's closed. It's locked. I can't go in. But I see that she's laying down on the window. Officials found the home's door open. Prescription pills scattered next to Hackman's wife. Police say they found the body of a German shepherd in the bathroom closet. 2 other dogs were found alive on the property. A search warrant does reveal investigators believe the deaths were suspicious enough in nature to require a thorough search and investigation. Police say there were no signs of foul play, and then, by the afternoon, officials deemed it suspicious. What is standing out to you among all of these details in the investigation? Well, first of all, anytime you have 2 bodies deceased at the same place at the same time, that in and of itself is suspicious. And then, of course, the dog also being deceased added to that suspicion. And then the pills being found scattered about. The whole situation really is quite alarming. You know, you said the couple's digital activity will be crucial in this investigation. Tell me more about that. The importance of the digital data from the deceased's cell phones cannot be overstated, as it could offer crucial insights into their movements, activity, and the moments leading up to the tragic event. The reason the digital information from both of their cell phones is so important, Natasha, is because cell phones can track movement, and that's what they are going to look into. When did those cell phones cease not only to be used, but cease to move? There's also pacemaker data here. What do you make of this? This information is critical. It shows that Gene Hackman's last use of his heart was cleared back on February 17th, so this was 9 days earlier. That says a lot in terms of this timeline that they're trying to develop. And it also explains some of the mummification, as we're told, far into of these bodies. This explains a lot to us. And what do you make of some of the details? No carbon monoxide on the bodies. I know many minds immediately went there due to the nature of the 2 bodies and a dog. Also, no trauma on the bodies. Right. This is what I'm seeing, Natasha. Is you see Gene Hackman in the mudroom and his glasses are right there. His cane is right there, as if he were walking and moving. And then suddenly, perhaps because of a heart event, I'm thinking, perhaps collapsed there and passed. Betsy comes upon him and sees this. It seems like she goes into the hall bath, not into her bathroom, but to the closest bathroom there. Again, dealing with all of these medications which are slung. We have a space heater that seems to fall right near her face. It seems as she falls. It makes me wonder if she took something in those pills. and it was something that caused immediate for her as well. A horrifying situation. What do the locations of these bodies tell us in this investigation? It sounds like that what you just described is what you're piecing together, at least initially, until there's more information. Yes, initially. And again, I thought it was interesting that the sheriff didn't want to say exactly what medications were there. He said they were for thyroid. He said they were for heart. But remember, oftentimes you take pain relief for heart pain. Could they have been? And this is often prescribed fentanyl for heart pain. We don't know that. We don't know what was in those pills. But I think it's really important that he withheld that, citing HIPAA. And he also said those pills are going to be key to determine what happened.